Well, good morning. Welcome back out. Very, very local on my little local beach, West Bay. Very simplistic morning again this morning, just looking for calm and really just using this morning as a little exercise in lifting the mood. Again, not a huge amount of clouds in the sky, there's a few. We're probably about half an hour away from sunrise, so I think it's going to be more about maybe some of that pre-sunrise colour. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to wander along to the harbour, and there's maybe a couple of shots that I've been thinking of making. Again, just very simple, hopefully very calming, suiting the mood of the morning. Half moon kind of setting up there as well. It's beautiful. It's a lovely morning. Right, we'll wander along and see whether we can get the camera set up. It's okay. It's really just a simple scene of the little pier. No filters on at the moment, getting about 3 seconds with the ambient light. Now I'm shooting in the normal aspect ratio. I'm also shooting in the square format, and I'm also shooting 16:9. Obviously I'll have full access to all of the raw frames. But just the nearest part of the harbour wall is very dark, including casting quite a dark shadow that I think pulls your eye. Now you could maybe lighten those shadows a little bit. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm composing the image in such a way that I'm not including those dark shadows reflected off the wet sand. There's a little bit of sea mist hanging in the air as well. So we are now about 20 minutes away from sunrise. There's not a huge amount of colour in the sky. As always, just beautiful to be out. So 2-second timer, F something or other. I think that was an eider. I get distracted so quick now, so easily, don't I got distracted again. Oh, I haven't had my coffee this morning. Alright guys, I'll throw this image up. I'm gonna wander on and see whether we can grab something else. So I haven't brought myself along too far. I'm just kind of, again, I was shooting the little pier in a portrait orientation. I put the polarizer on now, just giving me sort of an extra about 1 second exposure now that those ambient lights are coming up. But actually I ended up just shooting out, just straight out to sea. I really loved the sort of fluffy clouds, and they were taking on just a little bit of colour as well. And again, this is where you kind of are having a bit of chance, playing a little bit of chance, because you've no idea what sort of shape the waves are going to make out there. And I think I got fortunate because one sort of broke a little bit further out, and that helped to sort of pull the eye through maybe. But it's beautiful. It's probably about 5 minutes or so from sunrise now, and yeah, it is quite subtle, although contrail back up here, you're probably not going to be able to see that, but there's a contrail made from a plane. Remember those airplanes? Wow, alien creatures they are. And it's taking on some gorgeous pink light, and the contrail is actually dissecting the moon, but getting some lovely sort of subtle light, a little bit of pinks, and really making use of these lovely fluffy clouds. So to say, getting about a 1 second exposure. I want to keep a little bit of the energy in there, but at some point I'll probably only end up throwing on the force stop just to keep those exposure times at about 1 second. I feel like I'm rambling. Am I rambling? I think I am. I need coffee. Coffee before vlog. Get that on a t-shirt. So I was just wandering up. My plan was to go up onto the harbour and maybe shoot actually into the harbour with the lifeboat there, but I was just walking past obviously where the tide has come out. I'll throw a little bit of b-roll up here, and just the patterns now, we're losing a little bit of that. There obviously is a bank of clouds on the horizon that I can't see because that subtle colour now is dissipating quite a lot, and in fact over to the east there's a lot of clouds rolling in. But anyway, just below my feet, just lovely patterns, and it kind of comes up and meets the seaweed as well. And so I've kind of decided to change tack a little bit, and now back to looking below my feet, and you know how much I love doing that. So even just this little track here, you know, all within probably 25 meters, I reckon I could probably spend the rest of the morning here. So now I'm out at about 50 mil or so I'm focus stacking. I think it was F something or other, F8 I think, and probably about 6 or 7 images focus stacked. And obviously I do a little sort of hand in front of the frame. Typically if I'm focus stacking something, I make a little set sign like this, and if I'm doing a panoramic stitch, I'll just put my hand completely over the frame. It just means that if I'm doing both focus stacked and panoramic, I know which is which when it comes to the digital darkroom. Right, well I am going to continue. Unfortunately those, we might get a little bit of, no, I really do think that sort of soft subtle light has gone. I think the next thing we're going to get is the sun at some point in the next half an hour or so, 20 minutes, will rise over the visible horizon, and it might be a little bit harsh then, but we'll maybe carry on shooting a couple more intimate scenes here with these sand patterns because they are beautiful. So we're getting some lovely reflective light. The sun hasn't yet broken my visible horizon, but we were getting some lovely light. I can see it on you might be able to make that out on the houses across the way. And I did end up shooting West Bay as well. I quite often forget that to me this is, you know, outside my front door, but to a lot of people who, especially they haven't been able to get up around these parts, or maybe they've moved away, this is still quite an iconic place. And so shoot a little maybe touristy image there. So prints for sale on website. But yeah, still pointing down. And what now again, that ambient light seems to be sort of subduing a little bit those reflective light. But what I loved about the ripples in the sand, because they're raised, it's just like if you were shooting sort of, you know, the light, the reflective light against a wall or something. You know, the edges of those ripples are taking on, and then you've got the shadow and the edges with the light and the shadow. So I've been just playing around with a couple of different compositions. I was originally including the seaweed, and now it's more just all about the ripples, but it's just beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Now, as I say, that sun will break over the horizon at some point. I think that will be the morning's adventure over. And look, well, you probably can't see him, but there's a dude in there swimming. See, I told Nicola to come out. Beautiful morning for it. And you wouldn't catch me in there though. Right, I shall throw up another abstracty sand pattern image, and then what I might do is I might start walking back towards the little outflow and maybe see whether there's anything to be had there before going for a much needed coffee. nothing really doing up here at the little outflow, and that sun now is getting a little bit harsher, so I think I'm going to call it quits here. But that was a really beautiful morning, and in fact the last half an hour or so I've just been very slowly just wandering back up the beach again, and it's just beautiful conditions, just lovely. So another very enjoyable local bimble out. I trust you've enjoyed it, perhaps as much as I have, perhaps not, but certainly good for the soul. And I'm going to head back now, coffee time, go for a run, and then I'm on a bit of a rubbish shift today from 3 till 8, so best get back and get that coffee on the go. Right guys, once again, thanks a lot for following along, and until next time, take care, bye bye.